making an effort to, dressing up and looking nice is different than necessarily dressing up for a date.
Sure.
Dressing up, because I go dancing, doing square dancing right now. It's like, when I was in Northern California, I love West Coast swing, and the folks at square dancing said, they're like, you've been dancing before. It's like, yeah, I just haven't found a West Coast, I'm seeing salsa. Or I see East Coast swing, which is a boppier. I was like, I like West Coast swing. If I find a West Coast swing place, like, I'll be going. I dress up for it. I'm not dressed up like I'm going to a dance club. I'm a girl. I made an effort. And the first few times of doing that, midweek, is you're home. It's after work. We're tired. And it feels like an effort the first few times. By the third week, it's like, cool, I'm going dancing tonight. And it's fun. Whatever that is. It's like, because she's doing salsa. Salsa is great for really like the 30 to 50 something crowd. Totally. I don't know as personally, for into the 60s or so, I'd be like, go anyway, find out. Because it very much varies by club. And in Northern California, the West Coast swing, there were some places where there was in San Mateo, and the place was an Italian-American social club, was where we danced. It's very casual, really sweet people. There was another place we went dancing. That one was my favorite, because it had the greatest age range, and we would celebrate people's birthdays, and one guy was in his 90s, and he could hardly lead. But once you got to a little bit of ability as a lady, we could just pretend he was leading. And it just meant that he got to dance, and it's like, don't you want that when you're that age that people are treating you like this? Absolutely. So I loved that was the case. There were always a few divas, both men and women, but the majority of folks who were there were really fun and really nice. And yeah, I went on some dates with some of the guys there, and there were
no couples.
Oh, there were, and it was totally fine as well. Some of the folks, when it's really a social place, the folks who are couples typically they'll often dance together for a while or things like that, but they'll typically vary it. And we're always very respectful. You know who's married after a while, and we're always very respectful. There was one guy who was one of the best dancers there, and he was married. And when you're first learning to do a dance and all the different maneuvers, there are certain things they start to lead you for, and it could be this, it could be that way. And there's his lead, and he meant that, and he went that way. He was always so gracious about it, and actually dance is a conversation. Because you really start to get that give and take, because literally it's a tension of the hand, so you're literally doing this, and it starts to be a fun conversation. And if he's too attached, this marriage and life, if we're all too controlling, if he's too attached to, it gets ticked off at you over the fact that he went that way and you went that way, where's the fun in that? He'll try it again, or he'll say, usually it's an indication of one, I'm a less experienced dancer, two, his lead wasn't quite what I was expecting. But it's just when you can get to the point of where it's fun to dance, it's a fun conversation with his partner, you have the perfect metaphor for dating. Because that's what a first and second date should be like. It's just about meeting some interesting new people, and maybe we'll either hit it off, or maybe we'll hit it off and have a couple of dates, or maybe we'll hit it off and at least become friends and weave each other into our social lives.